Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Cover Band Central podcast number 209 for Tuesday, February 20th, 2024. I'm Steve Witchell in New Orleans.
It's Tony B coming to you live from New Jersey. What's happening?
I'm here post Mardi Gras now.
Post Mardi Gras.
Yes. Anybody coming in here live to watch us as we're broadcasting it officially right now, 8:02 Eastern Time. Come on and say hello, tell us where you're from, and we will involve you in the conversation. Whatever you want to say.
How were your past Mardi Gras
Yes.
experiences, Steve?
Good. I just want to mention too that we're broadcasting on the Facebook Cover Band Central page, in the Facebook Cover Band Central group, and on the Facebook or on the YouTube Cover Band Central channel. Make sure you
remember.
Yeah, subscribe to that channel. That's where all the goodies are. And there's a link for the book, and I haven't mentioned the book. I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but Get 'Em to the Show is a book I wrote, an ebook, and it's about building your online audience and knowing how to market yourself and get more people interested in your band and coming to see you play so that you get more gigs and make more money. That's the deal. And Tony, did I send that? Did you read it?
I did not, Steve.
Did I send it to you?
I don't think so.
I'm going to send it to you, and when you get a chance, read it. It's a pretty quick read, but I think it's really chock full of a lot of really good information. And I wrote it last year, August.
Yeah, we talked about
July,
it.
August,
I remember.
Yeah, around there.
Sure.
And I went back and reread it last night, and I was like, man, this is really fucking good. I don't say that about myself for other things that I do, but I think I'm a really good writer, and I think it's really good information in there. So there's a link in the description for that if you want to check it out. I've gotten nothing but good feedback on it too, and
I was going to say we got a lot of positive feedback on it when it first came out about people saying that it definitely works.
It really does work, and it's what I've done to build the audience. Now the Facebook page is 909,000 people, so we're going to hit 1 million.
Yeah, coming up on 1 million, baby.
So let's see.
So we're at episode 209. Howdy.
I don't know who that was.
So you think by what do we want to bet on, Steve? That what episode will we reach 1 million by?
I'm thinking if I had to kind of slow down my posting a little bit in the last week, but I'm going to pick it back up. I think at the rate of growth right now, it fluctuates. So maybe the average is like 25,000 new people a month. So figure about 4 months. So it's, so June.
Okay.
So which would be, about 16 weeks. So
give or take, so maybe 15,
25
more podcasts roughly. So
yeah, so 224, 225.
Yeah, I like it.
That's going to be my guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Provided we do this every week.
Yeah, let's say by episode 225, we'll be at 1 million.
Yeah, so this is a super exciting year. I got other stuff on my plate now for CBC, and it's all really good stuff. I'm not going to go into that now, but we do have a topic to discuss. We'll get to that in a minute. But
indeed,
yeah, let's talk about Mardi Gras. Huh?
Let's talk about Mardi Gras, Steve.
Mardi Gras for me. I live in New Orleans. I work on Bourbon Street. Those you don't know, and for the Mardi Gras weekend, we played Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Fat Tuesday. So 5 days in a row. The shift was 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 6:15 in the evening, and that was 6 sets that we did. And a set is 45 minutes for us, and we run consecutive sets. So we did 3 sets, took a half-hour break, did another 3 sets on all 5 days.
So, Steve, what was the most memorable, best thing that you can recall?
That's a good question to ask.
And then on the flip side, what is the worst thing you can recollect from
that one? I know for sure. Let's think about the best thing.
Okay, let's start
with I'll tell you. No, I'll start with the worst thing because that's very clear to me what it was. Saturday.
This past Saturday.
Yeah. No, the Saturday before not this past weekend, but the weekend prior.
Okay.
Mardi Gras weekend.
Mm-hmm.
The gig was good. It was busy. It was really busy every day, which was great. And we did well with tips and stuff.
And still using the tip app, right?
Yep, yep, and that worked very, very well. I gotta say, it worked very, very well this weekend. It doesn't always when it's really crowded because I hang up 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper with the QR code and a brief thing. It just says, request a song and brief description of how to do it. And I hang them up in front of the stage. I hang up four of them, so they're on kind of all sides of the stage, and two in the front, and then two on the sides. And when there's a lot of people in there, people in back can't see those signs. So people
Mm,
behind those first couple of rows can't really can't see the sign. But that it didn't really happen that way any time this weekend. It didn't happen where it was so crowded that occurred. But it was crowded, but people were moving around and people were dancing, so a lot of people had access to those things. And
okay.
I I mean, what Tony's talking about is we use an app um, where people can scan a QR code and they can see our set list, our entire song list, and then request a song and tip the band. Now, there's a bunch of those out there. There's a bunch that people use, and I've tried a bunch of them myself. Not all of them, but I've tried a few, and the one I use it works great for me for our purposes. It doesn't. A lot of these ones that are coming out, especially the new ones, are trying to do all these different things, like join your mailing list, put all your socials in there, and all like five or six different things in addition to that, and they're not really running the request thing as good as the one I use. But anyway, off on a big tangent there. But I highly recommend it for bands. If you can take tips and you can take requests and you know a lot of songs, use this thing for sure. And you put your songs in there, the songs that you already know. And then people, so there are songs you're already going to play anyway, but now you're going to get people to pay for you to play.
And like you
One,
said, keep it simple, Steve. You don't need all these other
yeah,
things going on
yeah.
in the background. Just, here's the songs, make your selection, tip the band.
One of
That's
the
all you need.
days, there's one of the days when we came back from break, almost the entire 3 sets, which is about 30 songs, were requests on the app.
Mm.
Almost the entire thing, like, and, they end up in a queue, there's 5 in there, and you gotta, like, prioritize them, and it's a
Yeah.
lot of work on stage, but it's great, man, and then some people tip we have it at a $10 minimum, and some people tip more. Some people will just tip and not request a song.
What
Um,
happens if they request 50 songs and you can only play 30?
then we won't take if we don't play the song, I don't take the money. So
Mm.
it gives you a red X and a green check. So if you're going to play the song and take their tip, you press that green check. If you
But what
don't,
if out of those 50 songs, 10 of them are the same song? So you're still gonna play it.
yeah, well, we'll play it once, and and that will satisfy if it's
Cor
10 different people
Right,
making that
they've heard their
request.
song, correct.
Yeah, but that never happens. It has happened where there's two requests for a song, or maybe three. Um, but
But not 10, let's not be ridiculous now.
No. But I manage it well. I've been doing it now for a couple of years, and I
Oh,
just
yeah.
highly recommend it. But so we did well. But so I would say the best thing about the weekend, there's not one specific moment I can remember, but the best thing was just that there were crowds every day, and they were excited, and they were, partying, having fun, and nobody got too out of line with us, with the band. Sometimes people do, like, get up on stage when we don't want them there, or
Get a little overzealous.
throw shit at us or whatever. Um, that was a great thing. The worst thing was Saturday night after we were done. Um, I did pretty well with it. My concern was, as I said before, it happened, was traffic and parking. Did pretty
Mm.
well with it. Once I figured out what I needed to do. There's a parking lot that's just kind of on the outside of the quarter and easy to access from the highway, and it's a bit of a walk to the club, but it's worth it, and it wasn't too expensive. The most it was $30, and then some days another day it was 20, another day it was 10. So what's up, Chunk? Chunk's here.
"What's up, Chunk?"
I just saw his joke, but he said, I wish Dolly Parton's song was 10 to 2 instead of 9 to 5. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But, But the worst part, Saturday night, I went to the lot and I see just traffic everywhere, and I'm getting to it. And a 20-minute ride home took me 2 hours. And I was, for part of that time, I was just stuck. Like I couldn't go forward, I couldn't go backwards, I couldn't go sideways. I was just stuck, not moving, with no
Hmm.
options. And that's a helpless feeling. It's like, and I'm looking at the app, and it's just red everywhere. And then like, and all these streets were closed. There were so many streets that are closed. So you think, okay, I'm getting out, I'm going this way, and then streets closed, got to turn around and go back to where you came from, which is a big ordeal. So yeah, that was the worst part of it, of the weekend.
Hmm.
One night it rained too. It rained a lot, and I had to walk. It was pouring buckets. Like I had to walk through like 3 feet of water in certain spot because it floods super quickly
Wow,
here.
it's like going through a river.
Yeah,
Did you take your clothes off and carry them over your head style?
I
Not that
thought
big.
about taking a little swim,
Nice.
but it was a little cold too. So I hope
Hey,
that
overall,
answered.
not bad though. Great experience.
Yeah,
Good gigs. The worst of that is just contending with some traffic. It's not like someone stole your base or something.
I know, right? Yeah, everybody, and also there was no night band, so we were able to leave a lot of our gear on stage where it was fine. Like I left my cabinets and my amp on stage,
Hmm.
which really helped in just breaking down and then setting up the next day.
Interesting that they didn't have a night band.
Yeah, I don't know why. It
Hmm.
was not explained. Um, Nothing is explained to us.
No, you
We're
just show up and play music and
we're,
then
we're not allowed to have an opinion on stuff.
maybe
We work for the man. You're always working for the man.
working for the man, Steve.
But yeah, overall great time. I'm
Awesome.
taking. I worked this past weekend. It was still pretty busy, not Mardi Gras busy, but it was still pretty busy, and we did well. I'm
Nice.
taking off this coming weekend though, and to reassess some things, mainly with Cover Band Central. Um, and I have to start fresh in a couple of areas, so I'm gonna
Excellent.
spend time doing that over the next
Fresh,
week and a
clean
half.
slate is good.
And Chonk, if you're still watching, I asked Chonk a question a few weeks ago, and I think he was away in Long Island, so he may have forgotten about it. But if we can, Chonk, if you want to address that at some point, that would be cool because I think that might be a good idea. Um, all right. So how about you? What you've been playing? What's going on?
No, I was off. I was off the past weekend.
And the weekend
Some time
before
to recoup. Yep.
Mardi Gras
Well,
weekend?
we're auditioning. Well, not auditioning anymore, but we're working with our new singer to get a
Right,
bunch of
right.
new songs into the repertoire, get all our endings, beginnings, pruning through the set list, to maybe cut out some songs to be replaced with newer songs. So,
Check the Facebook message, the last one, our last correspondence.
but all good.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Um, so yeah, I want to get to this topic. Topic is about TV shows, about mainly
Come
reality
on
the
down.
reality contest shows for
Oh,
musicians. Mostly they've been singers, and Idol was kind of the first big one in 2002 is when that started,
hmm.
American Idol, and then a bunch of other ones. The Sing Off, The Voice, obviously. America's Got Talent has singers, and what am I forgetting here? Uh, X Factor too was another big one. The Sing Off was just a cappella groups, so that was kind of cool. And
Different.
yeah, that lasted 3 or 4 seasons. And the big name that came out of that was Pentatonics. Huge.
Mm.
That they a huge
You also have the masked singer now too.
mass singer. I don't know if that counts. I guess it
Eh,
counts. They sing covers, right?
yeah, exactly.
And it is a competition show. Yeah, I guess that should count.
Hmm.
Do you watch any of these shows?
No, I have though in the past. I watched Idol. I watched almost every show that you've spoken about in some capacity at
Hmm.
one form or another. Back in the early days of Idol, you and I used to have a lot of wisdom time chats about Idol because it was new and it was cool
Right.
and it was,
Right.
interesting. We talked about maybe going, check it out. And,
Right.
um, Masked Singer, I've seen a couple of those. I think it's interesting too because you don't know who it is that's singing. A
Right.
lot of times it's very hard unless they have a super identifiable voice.
Right.
Um, so that's interesting, to see who actually makes it all the way to the end and who doesn't, who can
Right.
sing that you didn't know could sing, right? People that used to be able to sing that can't sing anymore.
Right. Yeah. Or or
Interesting.
or or people you just haven't heard about in a long time. You're like, what's that person been doing? And
Yeah,
then they show up as a chicken on a TV show or
exactly. Yeah.
whatever.
Deck of playing cards.
Right. Um, but that's like celebrities too. It's mostly people that.
Yeah, but it's a fun, like you said, it's another show where they are definitely all singing covers, right?
Right. Right.
And it is competition. The only thing is you just don't know who they are, and it's less of a fame type of launching pad, right? Like Idol would be, because like you had said in the description, a bunch of Idol contestants, some have had their 15 minutes, and some have gone on to really capitalize on that and make great careers out of it.
Right. Um, so do you have an aversion to these shows or are you just, kind of
No, it's just
indifferent?
typically when they're on, I'm not available to watch them.
Right. Got it.
And I don't usually record them because I won't have time to watch them later, so
Right. I, on the other hand, love them and I'm addicted to watching them. Not so much The Voice anymore. Um, Mainly because when The Voice first started, dude, I thought it was a great idea. Now you're judging somebody only on their voice, not on their appearance at first, anyway. That's how you get on.
Mhm.
And I love the concept, but over they would do 2 seasons a year, so they're up to like season 26 or something now. Um, and they changed the coaches over the years too, and it just to me became more about the coaches and less about the singers. And nobody has really emerged from The Voice as a big superstar. Nobody.
Well, I think that's what was cool about Idol in the beginning, right? Was because you could see, this waitress from a small country town, right? Who obviously has a great singing voice, right? And sings at work or sings in the car, but would never, wasn't in a band or wasn't chasing fame in that way. Who then has an opportunity to say, "Oh, let me go try out for American Idol," and then they end up making it all the way, or getting to the
Right.
final. And it was interesting to me to see that someone would have that natural talent, that vocal ability and have a great voice and then be coached, through the show, and you'd watch them evolve from, day 1 up to, day 30 and how much they grew just in that 30-day journey, of singing and being around people that were maybe more talented than them or more established than them and having a voice coach and a vocal coach and a song coach, to help them to get to the next round. But I
Right.
always like that about Idol was when, they just you have the fresh talent walking into that room and just singing a cappella and seeing, because when they sing a cappella, it's way different than when they have a mic and they have effects on them and they're fully processed, right? They're just
True,
singing
true.
in a room and it's just their voice. And, 9 times out of 10, when we used to watch the show, Karen and I would watch it and be like, oh, that person has a great voice, that
Yeah,
person
you could just
definitely you
tell,
can
yeah.
just tell right off the bat and say that she's definitely moving on or that guy's definitely moving on.
Yeah.
And then
These
you just
days
had
they're not doing just a cappella though. They're coming in and playing instruments or they have somebody playing the piano or something or playing
right.
guitar, whatever they want. So most of the time on Idol now, people come in and sing with an instrument, at
Yeah, and
least
back
one
then they were
instrument.
only singing with an instrument if they played one, right? Like if someone happened to be a
Well,
singer-songwriter
yeah, I
or,
mean,
had
in
his
the
own acoustic guitar, or when Taylor Hicks was blowing harp, walking into the
yeah,
audition,
yeah, yeah.
stuff like that was cool and memorable.
Yeah, in the very beginning, though, they didn't have instruments. It was just a cappella. That was it. When it was Simon,
Mhm.
Paula, and Randy. But anyway,
Yep.
Chong just said he watched Idol for the first time since a couple seasons, and was amazed at how the contestants are so much better now. So I watched Idol. The new season premiered Sunday. I watched just the very first part of it because I went on to do something else. But I watched the first contestant come in, and it was this kid, early 20s, good looking kid, and he sang great, man. He was killer. great range, great tone, just a great song selection. I don't remember what it was. It was, but it was fantastic. And so I'm really, really looking forward to it because I get excited when I see new talent, um, and see what spin they put on songs and what they can do differently. It's just to me that's really exciting. So I'm looking forward to watching Idol this year. But yeah, like The Voice, I got turned off of. America's Got Talent. I always watch anyway. You don't get too many singers on there, but you get a couple here and there.
But Chonk's saying he's amazed at how much more talented the contestants seem, or the talent pool that's out there. I can't say I'm surprised by that, right? Because it's
Hmm.
20 years later, right? 22 years later. There's a lot of other people that have grown up watching Idol and aspired to be, on Idol, as well as, I think there's a lot more, people in the world now, obviously, right? So there's more musicians, and there's just more
Right.
talented individuals out there that are now saying, "Hey, instead of me back in the old days pursuing, you know, this path to become a professional musician, I now there's all kinds of avenues between YouTube and TikTok and social
Yeah,
media
yeah.
and, and Idol, and it's a different platform.
And I also think that 20 years ago now is when Idol started. And there's people like you and our generation, but specifically like you, that have children and are musicians. You're a musician and you have children who become interested in being musicians because that's what their dad does or their mom does, and they do it well. And the dad or mom or both encouraged this generation of kids now in the last 20 years to learn music because of all the different opportunities. So I think that might have something to do with it too. Just our generation being big influence on the kids,
And
you know?
also the availability, right, of encyclopedias of information at your fingertips, right? You can go on YouTube and
Yeah.
find any song, and someone will show you how to play it, right? Or
Yeah,
you
yeah.
wanna learn how to play guitar, someone's gonna show you. You don't have to go find a guitar teacher at the local music store, you know what I mean?
Right.
You can go online now and buy a cheap guitar and teach yourself how to play up to a certain point.
Yeah,
That
you don't
goes
have to learn how to read music. You could just
yeah, with any of these things now, it's just, you have such a vast amount of knowledge at your disposal, that I think it inspires kids to become better faster, right? Because they have more opportunity. It's not a weekly lesson with one teacher. It could be every day on YouTube watching 10 different people, picking up 10 different tricks or 10 different lessons or 10, think about it. I mean, I go on YouTube all the time and find cool stuff, I say, "Oh, man, I'm gonna steal that." Right? That's a cool
Oh
groove.
yeah,
That's a cool
sure. I do it all
stick
the
trick, or
time.
that's it's a cool nuance, and, there's so much to be gleaned from it because you're look there's millions of people now. It's not just, the local talent. Like when we were growing up, you had a handful of bands, you know, and out of those bands, if there were, 10 bands and there was 5 guys in the band, that was 50 musicians that you could potentially be influenced by or be friends with or know or talk to
Right.
or collaborate with. Now, like you said, on the internet, there's hundreds of thousands available at all times.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's inspiring to me. It's encouraging. It's
Absolutely.
exciting. It's exciting because I love music and I love people who play music and sing and all that. And just seeing this younger generation wanting to play guitar, wanting to learn how to sing, wanting to learn how to play drums, acoustic drums and bass and everything, just like we did.
Yeah.
So, anybody that was ever afraid of that changing, I don't think it's ever going to change.
But even so with the technology now, Steve, right? Hey, let me lay down this click track with a groove or a bass line or a loop of some sort. I'll send it
Mm,
to you. Now you can collaborate with me, via
yeah, the
simply
remote
the
stuff.
media, right? Or you can do, we could do it together live if we have the capability to stream. But if we don't, I can record something as long as you have a similar interface, like Logic Pro or Pro Tools or something that you can open it in, even GarageBand. I can
Hmm.
send it to you and you can collaborate with me and send it back,
Yeah,
you
I've
know?
done it already. Yeah,
Yeah.
with Jeff, we did
And that
teams.
none of that was available, 20 years ago. You didn't
Yeah,
have that capability to be able to do that, unless
there
you
was no
had
Facebook.
high-end
You know,
equipment, Yeah,
there's no
exactly.
Facebook 20 years ago. There's no Twitter
Yeah.
20
No.
years ago. I don't even know if there was YouTube yet. Was there YouTube yet
Yeah,
20
there
years
was
ago?
there was YouTube. It was early on, then after that was MySpace, right? Before Facebook.
MySpace, yeah, yeah. So yeah, like when you think about 2000, like, oh yeah, that was a couple years ago. No, it was over 20 years ago.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah. So there were a couple of band type of competition shows too. And the first one was called Cover Wars on VH1. And interestingly enough, it was in 2001 before American Idol. So,
I
and
vaguely remember that.
yeah, and it did kind of have a panel sort of thing, but it wasn't, it wasn't really like Idol, but it was so. And I went back and I watched one of the episodes because it was one of the episodes had Dog Voices, which was a band from Jersey
Mhm.
who were great in the clubs. They were friends of ours, and I remember seeing it, I guess, back in the day, but I I hadn't seen it in a long time. So I watched this whole episode, and the premise of it was there's three bands, cover bands, hosted by Paul Schaefer, by the way, and there was three different rounds, and they had so the first round was um, they had three panelists. One was Sebastian Bach, the other was some girl from some magazine, and the other was some dude from some other band. I don't remember his name. And they would go to the one of the panelists, and they would say to, "All right, it's Dog Voice's turn. Play this song," and they would play it for 20 seconds or 30 seconds. He would just pick a song. And then you go to the next panelist, same thing. She would pick a different song, they play it. And then they do that with all three bands. And then they get voted on, scale 1 to 10 by each of those panelists. And
Now, were they songs picked from a list of songs that the bands gave ahead of
no,
time and said they knew
no,
them, or they just
no,
picked a song and said, "Hey, hope you can figure it out," and you got, 20 seconds to impress us?
that was it. You just had to,
Okay.
boom, you had to know the key, you had to know the words, you had to just get into the song. And some of it was very cringe-worthy train wreck stuff.
As you can imagine.
Close to that anyway. Um, But it's fun. It's interesting when you're under the gun right there. You have to do it. You're going to do something. One of those ones was "Eye of the Tiger," and they played it in a completely wrong key, and we're just the melody was off, and like yeah, it was bad. But so and then the
Put you on the spot.
round two was they would pick a song, and each of the panelists would pick a song and have the band play it in two different styles other than what the style of the song was. So play it reggae and play it country
Mm,
or whatever.
right, yeah.
Um,
That's
so
cool.
it would be a song that the band did know. So that was decided beforehand. And then same thing, points. And then whoever's in the lead is safe for the next round. The other two had to answer a trivia question, and whoever got it right was able to move on to the third round, which was um, uh, they picked what was the third round? I just watched it. Um, Now I'm drawing a blank right now what that third round was. Uh, it was a song that they didn't know. Oh, yeah, yeah, that was it. There was a list of 10 songs, and they had to choose from those songs and start playing it. One of the bands had to start playing it, and there was a timer. When the timer went down to 0, the other band had to keep playing it right from that spot wherever that band stopped,
Okay.
which is a cool idea too.
That is
Um,
interesting.
But if the band starts playing it and they get it wrong, they're saying wrong words or do something wrong, then they lose a point. And that
Mm,
happened most of the time. There was only one time where the song went from one band to the next band with any sort of smoothness. And that was it. That was the
continuity.
show. Yeah. And pretty cool idea. I think came before its time. I know it didn't last long. Um, and then there was another one recently in 2000 and we talked about this on the podcast. It was 2021. It was called Clash of the Cover Bands, produced
Mhm.
by Jimmy Fallon. It was on the E Network, and I
Yep.
watched a couple of the episodes, and I thought it was terrible. Um,
It was
it
very
was
short-lived, if I recall, too.
short-lived. It was tribute bands. It wasn't cover bands,
Right.
and it was two in kind of the same genre, and they would perform and they would get advice, and then they would work with coaches like a choreographer or a vocal coach or whatever, and then they came back and performed again, and then they got voted, and whoever won. And the big prize, grand prize, was $10,000 and a chance to perform on the Tonight Show, which I thought sucked. I mean, $10,000 for a band, for an entire band. It's like nothing. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
that's
mean, the opportunity to play on Tonight Show would be cool, That'd be the
yeah.
the only real perk if you think about it. I
Um,
mean, the money's cool
Chunk
too,
said
but
Bands on the Run show is better. I don't remember Bands on the Run. I'm
I
gonna
don't
have
remember
to.
that either.
I knew I would forget some. Let's see. Let's look it up real quick and see what we get.
There's Chonker coming through.
Um, it was on what network was it on? Chunk. Oh, TV series. Here we go. 2001. IMDb. Da, da, da. It was on VH1 too. I might have seen that. And see, this is a better prize. Prize package included $50,000 in cash, $100,000 in musical equipment. Oh man, I think I did see this. But I'll
Yeah,
have
that's
to go
that
back
that's
and
some
check it
that's
out.
some serious prizes right there.
Much better. But all right, so I'm getting to a point here too. Hey, what's up, Troy?
Yes.
Troy Miley there. I used to
Hey,
work with
Troy.
Troy. Um,
So
no,
your
I didn't see
roundabout
that, Joe.
journey that's brought us to this point, Steve.
Joe asked, did you see the recent Rick Beato where he showed trends that hip hop is going down and guitar rock is coming back up? I
Yes,
didn't see that, but I
I
agree
did.
with him.
I did see that. He was saying he was analyzing trends over the past 5 or 10 years, I think, and he was showing, the dominance of hip hop, and country and rock and pop, and it's been pop and hip hop at the top, for a long time,
That's true.
and now it's starting to come down where hip hop is starting to level off, and it's not quite as prevalently dominant as it once was.
Chung said, I think School of Rock should do a competition show. All right, so yeah, I'm getting to this now. A few weeks ago in the group, in the Cover Band Central group on Facebook, this dude posted about this TV show is coming up. They're looking for cover bands that are like kind of like dad bands, guys that have been around for a while, have other jobs, but still play on the weekend, or just people that have been around for a while.
Hmm.
Um, and in the group on Cover Band Central, ask people if they're interested to submit this blah 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 to this this email address. And when I saw that post, I'm like, I gotta talk to this guy because I love the idea of a show about cover bands. I've been talking about it for years. I'm not in TV production, so I have no way of making a TV show, but I've been thinking about it for a long time and how I envision it should be, and where it's celebrating cover bands because that Jimmy Fallon show kind of seemed like it was mocking bands a little bit. And I want to celebrate them. I want to celebrate these musicians, us that have been working at this for decades, that know the ups and downs of it and the joys that come with it and the struggles and all of it. So as I learned more about this from this guy, I found out that that's really the case. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody with a story, and that's what makes interesting TV. We all know
Sure.
that. But a band with a story that's interesting. So he asked people to submit, and a lot of people he said didn't follow direction. So I started communicating with him, and then eventually we did a live stream last week, and cleared everything up about what he's looking for, and gave the information. So I want to put it on the screen too. I still have it in here. If you're interested in being in a TV show about cover bands and featured there, then um, send a video of your band, short video, 1 minute long, or a link to it, and then a short introduction video about yourself. So about you or your band, just a short who you are, why you should be part of this thing, and your contact information, and that's it. And send that to musicshowsubmissions@gmail.com. I'm not getting anything for this other than the joy of being a part of this process of making this happen, because I really hope it does happen and does do justice to the cover band community, to us, to all of us that have been working at this and still do. So if you're interested, send that your information to that, or just ask me what you need. I'm sure I'm going to be in contact with him more, and um, we might do another live stream and whatnot as it gets closer. He doesn't think it's going to start production until the fall, so probably September. So you do have time, but the sooner you get in, the more likely you're going to get part of this.
Mm.
And I want to kind of take that back to it is going to be a competition show that I don't really know much more about it. And as I do, I'll let you guys know. But I, as with the other shows, kind of alluding back to what we were talking about before, even if you don't win, you still have doors that will open for you. You'll meet certain people, you'll get certain experience, and you'll also be able to use it as a resume item or as something as a sales tool. Like there's a guy here in New Orleans who was on The Voice and he didn't win and he didn't even make it to the top 5 or the top 10, I don't think. But he did well. He had a great voice. And he now anytime he goes out to play, it's so and so from The Voice. And
Mhm.
that gets people attention. It gives you more credibility. And it will help you in the future. So even if you think, bah, these shows, you can't win, I think it's still really good to be involved. And I don't really know the extent of what the show is going to be. I don't think it's going to be like either of those cover band shows that were on before. I think it's going to be deeper, and that's what we're looking for is deeper.
Even just the experience and of the journey and the people you'll meet along the way, right? And the exposure your band will get and connections you can make. You never know what can come of that, you know? Even if you don't
Yeah,
make it to the TV show or you don't win the whole thing, like you said.
and I think your band should do it, or at least if
Yeah,
you're interested, should
I would
submit.
agree. That's a good Cinderella story to tell.
Yeah. And you guys are real competent musicians. You pick really interesting songs. Um, so tell the guys about it and, whatever information you need from me, I'll give it to you
Cool.
and see if they're interested because you're kind of in the dad band
Yeah.
ages, I guess.
Yeah. No, and
um,
listen, there's nothing listen, I've been in every type of cover band, right? I've been in the youngest cover band on the bill, I've been in the oldest cover band on the bill, and everything in between, original and cover. And it's a testament, like you said, to being able to play music for over 50 years, and be out doing it and not playing the songs that everyone else plays. And like you said, there's a lot of bands out there that are doing it. Like we get nominated for they do like a local Hudson Valley does this like a Grammy type of thing. They call it something else though. And you vote for your band and you nominate them and then bands get, voted on and then they pick like best band in the Hudson Valley or best band
right,
in the,
right,
this area and the region. And we always, participate in that and get nominated. And usually we don't nominate ourselves. Someone nominates us, or we find ourselves on the ballot, and then hey, spread the word, vote for us and stuff, and we've had some success, some great success with that. And now having a new member in the band, it's like anything else. It's another, I'll call it version 2.0. It's going to
right,
be a different, you know, same band, but different lead singer, different dynamic,
right,
different, you know, newer eclectic songs to put in with the set list, to supplement some of the older tunes. And then we have
right,
some staples that we always keep in.
right.
But
So if you
always,
could,
picking tough songs.
yeah, and if you could tell your story succinctly in a minute
Mhm.
about and put that on a video, that's what you need. And then just a quick performance video, something that just shows, what you guys do.
Cool.
Joe asked, do we have to fly out to LA on our own dime for this, plus take off time for your day job? No idea. I have no idea how the production, what it's gonna be. It's too early to know any of that. And I wouldn't let that keep keep you from submitting, if like, oh
No,
my
of
God, I
course
have to
not.
take off work because you have no idea. So the worst that could happen is nothing.
Right,
You
and
know?
maybe you're grateful that you have to take off a week of work to go out to LA to go film a TV show.
Yeah,
Right?
that might be a
Not a
great
bad
thing,
way to spend a week off.
right? Chuck asks, "Why don't you do it, Steve?" A couple of reasons. I don't think the band that I currently play in would be appropriate for this program of what I know about it. And the other reason is I would rather be a part somehow of the production of it. And
Mm.
I pitched that to Shane, and he's not the decision maker for that, but
Well,
he's
Steve,
happy.
if OC5 makes it to the final round, you can be my creative consultant, alright?
There
This
you
way
go.
you can come with us.
Um, yeah, I'd like to get into that part of it if I can. And I don't know how I can, but I know I have an audience of nearly 1 million people, curated cover band
Yeah, you might know a little
players
bit.
and
You might know a
fans.
little
So
bit about
I
cover
might
bands,
know a
Steve.
little
You
bit
might know a
about.
little bit. You might be able to offer something.
So yeah, that's what I would prefer. So we'll see. Maybe nothing will happen for me either, and that's okay. I'm happy to be a facilitator for them and for this project to get them, you know, bands. And if it comes to where like a cover band central band makes it on this TV show and all of a sudden they get this national recognition, then I'm thrilled about that. Thrilled. And uh, Steve can play cowbell for me, for Tony. I can play cowbell for you. Is what he's saying.
You could do that. I have extra cabo, tambourine.
I see that.
We have many. We have all kinds of things. Many things you can play, Steve. Many.
Yeah,
Just tell me what you
sure.
want. Big orchestral cymbals.
How about a gong? You got a gong?
That's one of the things. I don't have a gong, but I have um, a cymbal that sounds like a gong if I roll on it with mallets. But
Uh,
I thought about getting a gong, but they're very expensive. For a good gong, they're thousands of dollars, you know? You can't
sure.
get, like, a gimmicky one, you'd have to get, like, a real deal gong. But, hey, speaking of gong, just for, if in your spare time, look up on YouTube, Gong Master plays 80-inch Paiste gong, and it's an 80-inch gong, right? So it's giganto, and he plays it with this very light touch of a mallet, and it sounds like a movie track, like a soundtrack from a horror film, and or the universe being created. It's got it's not like what you think. It's not like like a gong sound. It's this ethereal, creepy, crazy, low frequency. Listen to it in headphones too. You'll be
There's a
amazed.
couple of them here on YouTube.
Yeah, but the Gong Master playing the 80-inch gong. And he's in a room full of people, and he keeps telling people, like, "Shh, you gotta be quiet so you can hear it." And he does, like, he manipulates it. It's very cool. So
Huh?
after
I
after
don't. I don't
after the
see the gong
broadcast, you
master.
can check it out. Gong Master,
Oh
80.
wait, Gong Master creates eerie music on giant gong. Is that it?
It might be
Feisty, right?
80. Yeah, 80-inch Paiste. Yep.
All right, let's check it out. Let's see if I can put it. See if I can put it on the screen here.
Yeah, but that's what that changed my whole concept
Let's see.
of gongs.
Let's see. Hang on. Let me see if
Not
I
that you're
can.
buying a $15,000 80-inch gong, but it does exist if you want it.
No, I won't be ever probably. Also share the audio. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Is this?
No, no, it's not the one. It's not
That's
that
not
one.
the one.
No, no.
It says Gong Master.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different guy though.
Well, it might still be cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything on the right-hand side for the Gong Master, but no. Okay, you could try it.
Let's try it. Let's see
It's
what
not the
it
one I
is.
was thinking of, but it's
Uh,
yeah, the audio is not the same on this one, but it's similar.
that's intense, huh?
Yeah, but the other ones, when you can find it, like I said, the other ones are super intense.
Gong. Give me Gong Master plays. What is it? 80-inch.
80-inch Paiste.
80. Shift key.
Come on now, fingers, do some work.
Let's see. That's it. Okay. You see it?
No, scroll down a little bit.
I think you're making this up then.
No, it's a guy in a room, bunch of people.
Hmm. All right. Well, you out in the audience there can scroll through YouTube
Yeah,
and see
no,
if you can find it.
yeah, it's not there, but it does exist.
That thing is super
It's pretty
cool, though.
intense. Yeah, it's definitely it's wild when you start investigating gongs that they're not what you think like the traditional gong would sound like. And there's so many different gongs, but when they get that large, they have these crazy frequencies and they barely touch them. Like the guy I saw was just he's barely touching it with the mallet, and it was like erupting into this giant sonic experience. It's really cool.
Right. Um. Yeah, I guess Joe's a little behind here, but he said, Tony, we just did the same thing several months ago. New female lead singer. She learned all of our tunes, and now we're learning lots of new ones and having a great time.
Excellent. Tom's River, New
Tom's
Jersey. Yeah.
River, yeah.
Fellow New Jerseyan. Yeah, it's interesting,
Yeah.
because it's like a double-edged sword in a way, right? Because you have a band, at least in my situation, where it became a machine. It becomes in sync, right? You've been doing it with the same lineup, and you have the songs, and everyone's polished and worked on their stuff, and the show is arranged in a certain way, and you have segues from one song into the next, and everyone's comfortable with what they're singing and what they're playing, and you know, you go to gigs confident and ready to have fun and have a good time, and then a member departs the band, and you think, "Oh man, this is terrible," right? Because it's going to be a different band now. It's not going to be the same. But then you realize that it's going to be different, right? And you keep yourself open to that opportunity.
You embrace it. Yeah. Get
It's going to be
excited about it.
great. It's going to be better. It's going to be fun. It's going to be new. It's going to be something completely different, but the same in a way. And usually it's better if you seek it to be better, and if you expect it to be better, it will be.
Agreed.
So you have to embrace it with excitement and with the open mind,
Agreed. It
you
is
know?
exciting. Yeah, we
It
did talk
certainly
about
is.
that
Yeah.
a few episodes ago about your experience with that and my
So we'll find out. Like I
yes.
said, coming up, we got a couple gigs left with our original lineup we have now, and then I think April is when we'll be coming out with the new lineup.
Very exciting. But yeah, get into that. Tell the guys about this show that I'm talking about and see if they're interested. And
I definitely will. It doesn't matter if they're interested or not. We'll just tell them they have to do it.
there you go.
No,
Yeah,
it's not something we think would be. I already sent the stuff in, guys. So just let you know.
yeah.
No, of course we'll discuss it. Band's supposed to be a democracy. Everyone has to have a say.
Right.
No,
Ideally,
no dictators. You could be
right.
outvoted though. You know.
Yes. True. It's good. Yeah, I don't think anybody has anything to lose here. You just, the
No, sounds
worst
like a
thing that can
win-win.
happen is nothing, and the best thing that can happen is you could be
There's something.
on something on a TV show and get some national recognition and get some higher paying gigs out of that. You know,
Yeah.
at the very least, you could be like, yeah, I was on this show or our band was on this show, and now you're going to command top dollar.
Yeah, or I took a week off of work and went to LA and recorded this television show.
Yeah,
TV star now.
yeah.
Want my autograph?
There you go.
Bobby, sign some autographs for me. You got to have them ready to go hand out.
All right, so get that on. I'll put that banner up again to that email address, music show submissions at gmail.com. Shane is your contact, Shane Solowski, and he's a good dude. We have a lot in common. And all right, so and the book aforementioned ebook that I talked about,
Get them to the
Top
show.
Show, getthemtotheshow.com is where you can get it and read about it. It's a money back guarantee. If it doesn't work for you, I'll give you your money back.
I'm going to
And
read my copy as soon as I get it, and I'm going to let you know.
I'll send it to you. And there's a link in the description for that if you want to just click that, and it'll take you to there. And as always,
And there you have it.
coverbandcentral.com, the newly designed coverbandcentral.com.
Yes.
Check out the website. Lots of good stuff there. There's another comment here.
Newly improved.
Facebook user needs double gongs next to his China symbols.
Yes, double gongs are good.
Right. You got anything else, dude? You want to talk
No,
about?
I did want to get a gong. Now that we're just closing the loop on the gong, but I did get some new symbols, but a gong was not one of them,
Right.
unfortunately.
Well, we're going to work on that for you.
We'll work on gongs. Yep, I want an 80-inch.
Yeah,
Giganto.
Clear some
Go
room.
fund me for a $15,000 gong. And just think, if you donate money towards the GoFundMe for the 80-inch gong, I'll put it right behind me. Like we'll make it part of the show.
We can maybe do that if you really want it. We can maybe do that.
Yeah, I can
All right,
play
guys.
very lightly.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.